Welcome back. No Mow May. That's M-O-W. It's the great grass debate dividing homeowners, gardeners, and conservationists. Scripps Newsy's Meg Hillings digs into the dilemma.
As the weather warms and your yard comes to life, so is the debate over what should be done with America's lawns. No Mow May. It's the three-word directive dividing neighbors across the country as grass begins to slowly creep up in height. Odds are you've seen it popping up on headlines, trending on social media, or setting off heated debates in your local gardening chat groups. So what exactly is it?
No Mow May at its core is such a simple idea. You don't mow for a few weeks, you have flowers, and you have happy bees.
That's Matthew Shepard with the Xerces Society for Invertebrate Conservation, a nonprofit dedicated to protecting pollinators and their habitats. Think bees, butterflies, moths, and flies. The No Mow May movement was launched in 2019 by the UK conservation group Plant Life. The idea being that if you don't mow your lawn the whole month of May, declining pollinator populations and the plants they feed on would have a chance to rebound in your area. The idea spread across the Atlantic, first being picked up in Appleton, Wisconsin in 2020, before spreading elsewhere in the States, with environmental groups like Xerces taking notice.
Make it fit what you want. I mean, No Mow May, it's not like there's rules. There's no No Mow May police sneaking around, checking out your lawn and citing you, If you would like your lawn to be longer, let it grow. Maybe it means instead of mowing it twice a week or once a week, you mow it once every other week,
But not everyone is buzzing about a break from yard work.
Gardening is work. And if you want to have pollinators visit your garden all season long, which can be even in Buffalo from April through October, not mowing your lawn is not the way to do it. It won't help you.
That's Elizabeth Licata, an editorial writer for the Buffalo News and longtime gardener. She's been digging into the No Mow May movement, most recently in an op-ed, where she points out that consideration for pollinators needs to extend beyond just a month if we want our actions to have a long-term impact.
You have to put a little more thought into it than that. You have to maintain perennials and even flowering trees and shrubs that will provide steady diet for these pollinators that they can come back to month after month.
And Licata warns that if you do go to mow your lawn after taking a month off, don't be surprised if the grass doesn't respond well.
When you do mow that lawn, presuming that you still want to have it, you're really damaging it. You're cutting off about 3/4 of its growth and you're shocking it. You're quite literally shocking your lawn and you're hurting it.
There's also the chance that not mowing your lawn could set off testy exchanges with neighbors unhappy with the site, or worse, violate homeowner association policies in your area, some of which have taken residents to court in the past over everything from the color, height, to even makeup of the lawn.
The Washington Post cites 2005 data from NASA that estimates that there is roughly 40 million acres of ornamental lawn in the U.S., making up roughly 2% of the land area of the lower 48 states. And to maintain all that, the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency estimates that Americans spend roughly 9 billion gallons of water each day on landscape irrigation. As a result, lawns have increasingly come under scrutiny by state and local officials for water use, especially in western states. Some have begun encouraging residents to swap out their grass for more drought-resistant landscapes, such as clover, cactus, artificial turf, and even gravel.
The ecological IQ of this country is really low. We don't get it that we are living off the life support that healthy ecosystems provide. If we don't support those ecosystems, we don't have that life support.
Doug Tallamy is an entomologist at the University of Delaware and author of Nature's Best Hope, a new approach to conservation that starts in your yard.
We now need to practice conservation outside of parks and preserves. And what's outside in parks and preserves is private property. So the private homeowner is actually the future of conservation. And my job has been to tell them that. They don't know that.
And the group best suited to tackle these conversations might not be who you would expect.
The most powerful people in the country right now in terms of the environment are baby boomers. They're retired, they've got money, they're trying to figure out what to do with their lives. They can be a really powerful source, but it wasn't part of our upbringing. Nobody was trained in this. So the biggest hindrance is that they simply don't know that they are the future of conservation and that plant choice is the way to go.
Tallamy says ultimately he'd love to see the area of lawn in the U.S. cut in half, but that doesn't mean getting out your shovel and digging up your grass right away.
The easiest thing to do is plant a tree, plant 2 or 3 trees, and you put a bed around that tree, and immediately you have less lawn. And that tree's going to grow, and then you expand the bed.
Like many environmental debates, this one is not going away anytime soon. But experts like Talamy, Licata, and Shepard say they're happy that these conversations are finally getting the attention they deserve.
We're a lot farther along now than we were 20 years ago. You're interviewing me. That wouldn't happen 20 years ago. You recognize that this is an issue. People recognize that the 135 million acres we have in residential neighborhoods counts. We're recognizing that our parks are not enough to preserve the biodiversity that we need. So we've got to do conservation outside of the parks. Where's it going to happen? It's going to happen in your yard.
Meg Hilling, Scripps News, Chicago.